One. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bubble Talk episode 39. Can you believe it? Almost to 40. I remember those days when I was almost to 40. But anyway, thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It's Tuesday evening at 6:03, so we were almost on time. But I'd like to give everyone a chance to grab your coffee, grab your wine, or whatever makes you happy, so you can join me for 30 minutes of what's to be an awesome show. This is going to be an awesome show, you guys. I have an incredible guest, but before we start, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Northside Imports, Northside Maserati, Bella Soleil Tanning, Beautiful Anti-Aging Studio. You guys, thank you so much for providing an amazing platform for me to talk about fitness, fashion, and living a healthy and positive lifestyle. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my special guest, straight from Beverly Hills, California, Mr. Referred to as the world's mayor. And we'll talk to him in a second, but let's bring him on. Here is my amazing guest. Welcome, Joshua.
What's going on? How are you?
Fabulous. Thank you so much for being my special guest tonight on Bubble Talk episode 39.
I'm blessed to be here. We should have just been recording our conversation before the show. That was pretty entertaining too.
I would be very embarrassed, Joshua. So, Joshua, tell us a little bit about your story. Give us a little feedback of how Joshua T. BERGLAN came to be.
Oh God, those open-ended questions.
It's so generic. You can go a lot of places.
Yeah, I know. That's, for me, I'm somebody that was born into about every privilege you could imagine. My mom, like I think I was sharing with you before, was, she traveled and modeled as I was a kid. My father was a very successful entrepreneur. We were growing up at the country club, going to black tie events, church Wednesday night, Sunday morning, Sunday evening. Like we had that look of the all-American family and everything was wonderful.
You were living
do I?
Yeah, you were living the life.
Oh, living the life for sure. And then 7 years old, my sisters left unexpectedly and I had no idea what had happened. Like I honestly thought it was something I did because no one would tell me why the heck they left. So my brain is, they don't love me. They don't, I'm not good enough for them. And then that happened. And then I swear to you, like 7 years old for me is a complete nightmare because that's when, right after that happened, I was molested by two men and the abuse from my father started. And not only did it start towards me, but it was my brother, my mom. And it just was this, all of a sudden, this perfect family, everything's great. Then it all comes crashing down. I was a very high energy kid, but because of the status that we had in Oklahoma.
Yes, that's where you're from, Oklahoma.
Celebrity status. But that keeping that inside and not having a voice ended up being the theme of my life now and speaking truth. But for then, it was hiding. It was not letting anyone know I was suffering inside and not understanding and, started acting out a lot. I had a lot of rage. And the one counselor that I saw by the time it was the 7th grade, finally she goes, "What's going on with you? Why are you so angry?" And I told her what had happened, and what had happened. And because right after that also I was molested by a babysitter. And she told me that was normal for little boys to do that. So this is around the time that also kids are using the words like faggot and this, just these kind of words. And I'm going, things you can't say now.
Right.
And
we just did, but it's okay.
Yeah. Just tell me, wait a second. So this is normal for this to happen, but yet I'm having these horrific nightmares and not understanding what's going on with me. And it was really, really confusing because it was like, well, I like women, but yet I'm having these horrific things here, but it's supposed to be normal. What the heck is going on? So I was constantly confused, constantly in a state of rage. Thank God for sports. I don't think I really have any athletic ability, except for the fact that I was the world's most pissed off kid.
And that made you amazing.
And it worked out to being where oh, this gave me a scholarship. This is what fueled me into college. But when sports ended, it was like, okay, now what? Now what do I do? And when I discovered drugs, that's when my world opened up, where all of a sudden those nightmares became fantasies. But the problem with that is with disassociation and not knowing what's real, and which later and now to understand this is borderline personality disorder. But that time in exploring with drugs, cocaine, I didn't graduate till meth until much later, but cocaine and ecstasy, lots of alcohol, I would go explore trying to recreate that nightmare to make it normal in my head. That was great until I found out that I had a 3.5-year-old daughter. I left Florida. At that time I was living in Florida, moved back to Oklahoma to try to be a father. And I say try to be because I didn't do a very good job.
Okay.
At all. And I ended up getting in a relationship which became a marriage because I thought that this woman was going to make me a better man, make me a father, make me, you know, what I had in my brain of what a father looked like. I didn't know that you could actually be a crazy person and be a good father, but at that time I was like, I need to be a certain kind of way. So I got in this relationship I had no business being in. And that's when my real double life started. I was using drugs, sneaking around, exploring, trying to figure out what the heck I am. Am I bisexual? Am I straight? What am I? And of course, there's a lot of shame with that too, growing up in church, thinking, okay, this is wrong, I'm going to hell. But then at the same time, when I would do drugs, I felt so normal and I felt like everything was going to be okay. So I lived this double life, and then it carried over. I ended up getting caught because I got tired of hiding, and I basically busted myself because I quit coming home.
Sure.
Ended up going to rehab, got out, got into another marriage. But I told her, I was kind of honest about what had happened. And I said, hey, this is who I am. Would you explore this with me? She was all about it. So we explored it with it one time. Then she decided she didn't like that anymore. I felt betrayed because, wait a second, I opened up to you. Now I can't explore this side of me. What am I going to do? So I started sneaking around again and started living another double life. Eventually got caught there too. And made a decision at this point that I was going to be in a relationship. If I was going to be in a relationship again, it was going to be with a woman that accepted me as somebody that was bisexual. Well, that was great until I decided that I wanted to cheat, because when I was in New York, I went off on a trip, ended up partying with a bunch of doctors, ended up cheating. And then several months later, she had a suspicion of what was going on. But several months later, I got really sick and I didn't know what was going on. And went and got checked and found out that I had HIV. That wasn't a lot of fun. And so she stayed with me, but she lost trust in me. And then that's when we started having some really, really bad fights. And it became a very toxic, dangerous relationship that led us both to go into jail 2 times. And but it was the last time that I went to jail that I was put in isolation because I had this brilliant idea of telling them, oh yeah, I have HIV, thinking that they were going to give me special privileges. And instead, I got put in the psych ward and these little cells where all I could hear, I could just hear the maddening screams that were next to me, but I couldn't see anybody. But when the cocaine and alcohol wore off going into day 2, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I was like trying to like, how do I kill myself in here? How do I kill myself? Then I started asking for stuff to read, and they won't give me anything to read. I'm like, you have to give me a Bible. So, yeah, I guess they do. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it was from watching prison shows or what. But
yeah, I was about to say a lot of TV.
I was like, oh, yeah, you have to give me a Bible. Sure enough, they do. So tips for your viewers. If you ever go to jail, ask for a Bible. They have to give you one.
Wow.
So I start reading the Bible, and I'm like, this isn't making sense. Like, what the heck is going on? I don't understand any of this stuff. And then I remember my friend I used to party with in high school, who's now a pastor. His name's John. And I started reading John. And as I read John, I was like, okay, I still don't really get this, but whatever. Go to Proverbs, go to Psalms, go back to Proverbs. And as I'm reading Proverbs, I'm going line by line going, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, I'm really doing that wrong, I'm doing this wrong. And then I'm just pissed. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, God, why won't you fix me? Why won't you change me like everybody else? Why won't you fix me? And after just screaming at God for probably 5 to 10 minutes, I don't even know how long, because I was just like foaming out the mouth, pissed off. Why won't you change me? You have to forgive your father. How in the hell am I supposed to do that? After what he did to me, after what he did to my mom, what he did to my sisters, which I later, 20 years later, found out why my sisters left. Because it happened to him too. The only 2 times in my life I've ever heard God talk to me were in that jail cell. For the first time in my life, I felt compassion for my father, because I realized that not only had I become my father, I'd become worse than my father. And that chip on my shoulder, that hatred, started to kind of fall off of my shoulder. And I remember getting to this place where I was like, Dad, I forgive you. And then I started apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I showed up high on cocaine to your funeral. I'm sorry I showed up late. I'm sorry I made a mockery of your death. I'm sorry I wasn't more loving and compassionate to you. Dad, will you forgive me? I went back and I went and read John again. And I was like, I get it. I get it now. It's like, all right, God, I know I've ran from what you've called me to do since I was 7. I got my first vision of what was possible when I was 7 years old. Every vision I had up until the last few years had been through trauma, had been through some kind of like train wreck. I hit rock bottom a lot. And, but I asked Christ to forgive me. And I acknowledged the fact that he died for me and all the horrible, horrific things that I had done, even the things that had happened to me. But I made an agreement with God and a decision that changed my life forever. And in that process, I also made a commitment that even if I was going to be behind bars for the next 5 years, that I would live my life pursuing what he called me to do instead of running from it. Even if it was from behind bars, I was going to serve him and do what I was called to do. 4 days later, I got out of jail, and I'm on the streets of downtown LA going, this promise was a lot easier. This promise was a lot easier when I was going to be behind bars. And now I'm back in LA. Holy crap, what do I do? But that started the process to me. You know, I quit going by Josh, but that started the process towards me taking a baby step every day towards what God had called me to do. And, you know, after I learned about stretching my faith, I really, really learned just what's available for all of us who just make that decision to take the things that hurt us and to take the things that, you know, the traumas, the sabotage, the hurt, the abuse, to take those things and use it for good. And really the power in taking the gifts that we've been given. We've all been given a gift. Like when we're born, we were all given a spiritual gift. And when we use it for other people and we align that with the things that hurt us, and we align that gift and that pain to use it for other people, I swear to you that you cannot dream big enough. In the world that you get to create when you're in line with God's purpose for your life and using your gifts, it is magical what you can create. So that is, in a nutshell, me. And that's what I've been doing. Like, I live my life to serve. The world's mayor, the funny thing about that nickname is that my mom used to tell people that I was going to be the mayor. One day, when I was like a little kid running around and we'd travel, I'd just run off and go start talking to strangers, even and just like, and she's like, he's going to be the mayor someday. And sure, 30-something years later, my nickname is the world's mayor. Like, that's what people call me, because in life and business, I just create a space for everybody to win. Like, my goal in life is to truly, truly help everybody win.
Wow. I'm in awe and I'm speechless probably for the first time in my entire life. Your transparency, Joshua, is like no other. I don't know if you know this, but I am on a committee and with Boy and Bobby, we are called #The Red Production, and we do philanthropic work for the AIDS Foundation Houston. And I lost a very dear friend when I was very young to HIV. I didn't even understand what that disease was. And he was my dance mentor. And I didn't realize it affected me until later that I was an adult and having these like post-traumatic issues about people abandoning me. Yeah, and your story was, so I believe people come together. God creates a path, and if you stay on that path and you're vigilant and you're focused, He brings the most amazing, beautiful human beings in your life, and you can see their light. And I see your light. I heard it in our first conversation. I've heard it in our conversation since. I see it in your face. I see it in your eyes when you're speaking. I hope I'm that light for others. I hope that this Bubble Talk platform, which started as something very, very different 10.5 months ago, has now become something so bigger, so much bigger than what I envisioned, and something so much more than I even realize at this current moment what it can be. Like I'm blown away about people who have gone through strife and have struggled and endured immense amount of pain, but yet continue to shine brightly. Gina Bumpus, if you're out there, I mean, all of us, Boy Solace, I mean, you, me, my son, Marcus Rodriguez, we've all endured some of the most horrific things in our life. And yet here we are walking in God's path, mission work, philanthropic work, helping others, smiling, enjoying I wake up every morning. Today, my son, Thomas, he's in the bedroom next to my office with influenza A. I mean, he's been so sick for 2 days. And yet I'm like whistling and dancing around the house, and because I know that he's going to be okay. I know I have this amazing life. It's just you live a different perspective when you are truly in the proper alignment, which is what you're talking about. It's really cool to know that there's many of us out there who, for whatever reason, choose to enlighten others about their Christianity or choose not to. I don't judge. I'm not that kind of person. I've even dated many people for maybe 10, 12 months before we even discuss religion, but they know that I have an immense amount of faith. They know I walk with the Lord every single day. I make that very clear. But wow, Joshua, I mean, it's kind of like a drop the mic moment. Like, I don't even know what we're supposed to say at this point.
Well, I want to say something because this matters. I lived in fear. You know, I stayed in this toxic relationship because I told myself that I would never have the love that I deserved because I had HIV. And never mind the fact that I'm undetectable and healthier now at 39 than I've ever been in my life. But also, I learned just how powerful truth is when I finally I stood in front of a group of people in my leadership emotional intelligence course, and I shared it for the very first time. I was sharing 98% of the truth on my platform, but I didn't have the courage because I was worried of what people would think about me. I was worried about losing my audience. I was worried about people judging me. But it's very important that I use my platform and the opportunities that I have to raise awareness for the fact that you can have HIV. Honestly, it's worse to have herpes than it is HIV now. That's the truth, especially when you're undetectable. The second part is that people with borderline personality disorder, people that are physically abused and deal with trauma, people that are molested, especially of the same sex, people of the same sex, they're going to go through some confusing times. like the way that, and I had an amazing therapist on my show yesterday. I freaking love her because she really helped shed light to a lot of things I've been trying to express to people, that those traumas and those things that hurt you actually get to be part of your gift. And I can tell you now, with somebody with borderline personality disorder, and if you guys are not familiar with that, or your audience isn't, it's like taking schizophrenia and bipolar, dropping some acid and putting it in a blender and just having fun. Like, that's what it looks like.
Wow.
There's disassociation. There's the feeling of safety is the ultimate importance. So like, if there's ever a moment that there's trust is broken, oh, forget about it. Like, it doesn't, or not feeling safe, that's worse than trying to kill me. There's been some hurdles. There's a dark passenger that tries to get in the way of right thinking. This is the coolest thing. This is why it's a gift. When I was dealing with massive attacks and I had a relapse about 9 months ago, I had God, I swear to all that's holy, God like showed up out of this corner of my eye and says, I'm going to let you go through this. You're going to go through all of it and it's going to hurt, but I got you. I'm not letting you go. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? 5 days in a row, I had different messengers come to me and deliver very specific messages about what I was supposed to do. That was rest, surrender, spend time with me, and surrender control. Surrender control. Get your hands off the wheel, dummy. I got you. I've got a plan for you. Surrender. Just spend time with me. So I discovered Graham Cook, who's an amazing, like, I recommend him to anybody who wants to level up spiritually, really, really connect to God.
Okay, we'll put that in the description for any of our viewers out there.
Graham Cook is amazing. And anyway, but what happened was it allowed me, because I was like, I got to get a job. I got to get a job. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to go pay the bills. Oh my God. I don't have this. I don't have that. I got to get a job. I got to get a job. But that wasn't my calling. That wasn't my purpose. That wasn't in line with what God called me to do. God wanted me to know and learn him so I could use the tools and the gifts that he gave me to bless other people. So when you asked me earlier what I do for work, I just help people. God has provided for me in ways that are miraculous because I surrendered control and I've been in line with my purpose. Now, some people's purpose is to have a job or run a company. Mine was to create a ministry. And that ministry is Gratitude Unfiltered. A ministry that all people are welcome, no matter if you were gay, bisexual, transgender, if you're Muslim, atheist, Buddhist. Look, I follow Jesus, I talk about Jesus, but my platform, my ministry has welcomed all and all participate. And it's been amazing how God has opened those doors for me and allowed this show that I started on my phone after hearing TD Jakes talk. I started a daily gratitude. And a year and 4 months later, I'm making childhood dream come true by filming in a studio for the very first time for this show to go on TV.
That's so exciting.
It's amazing. And I'm not telling people to go quit their jobs. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is when you can get to that place of surrender and just trusting God, and the messages that you get will guide you as to what your steps are to be, it's amazing how the world will open up for you. And a lot of it has to do with taking those things that have limited you for so long, those things that have held you back. Those are the things that you get to use to help you break through. The ultimate joy that I have in my life has come through everything that hurt me, including myself. And everyone's walk is different. Everyone's path is going to be different.
Sure.
But when you get to that place of surrender and trust, man, does it make taking that next step, that next leap of faith, when God tells you to do something crazy, you're going, marry someone you don't know? Are you insane? What's wrong with you? Okay, I'll do it, God. And then you end up right where you're supposed to be. Now I'm not married anymore, but it worked out. Like, it put me where I'm supposed to be. But there was a reason why. There was a reason why, like, all of these crazy leaps of faith that he asked me to take, it got me where I'm supposed to be. But the biggest leap of faith I took was letting go of control.
I think there's more people, Joshua, than we can even fathom between you and I, that live in the most perplexed state of denial, of undiscovery. They go their entire life trying to hide things and trying to keep the layers, if you will, around them in the cocoon. And they live like this, and they're so robotic, and it's so obvious that they're so shut off to the world and to others around them and to the spirituality of Jesus and God and whatever form of higher being they choose to believe in or not believe in. It's unreal. And I think that through different facets of my life personally, dance, beauty pageants, athletics, now, you know, social media for me now, and real estate, you meet so many people on a daily basis, so many people. And when you have this God-given discernment that you're walking on the right path, you're so right. Life, it just opens up. It opens up like a beautiful flower, and the path is so clear. I mean, so crispy clear. And now when things happen to me, and this is what's so unreal about my life at this present moment. If any of the things that have happened to me just today in the last 24 hours had happened to me a year ago, I would have lost my mind. I would have been crying and calling if I had a boyfriend, I would be like, what do I do? Or I'll be on the phone with my best friend, like, this is it. I just can't handle life. I mean, I would have lost, and now there's such a peace. It is almost unexplainable other than it's God. There's such a peace in my life that I know exactly where I'm going, where I'm headed, how I'm getting there. I mean, he lays it like the most beautiful choreographed pavement in front of me. It's just these little pavers, and he's saying, Toni, walk, girl, walk, get up and walk. I used to struggle to get up in the morning to get to the gym or to get my son to school, or after a long night of partying, and I knew I had to go do 5,000 things. Now, I mean, my path is so clear. I get up, like, seriously at 4:30, 5 o'clock, whistling Dixie. I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to get this day going because I know what's ahead of me. And when, I'm not saying I have a perfect life by any means. I'm saying when someone walks into my world, when I meet people, I can read them so clear now that I don't even know how to explain it other than it's just God. And I find myself, I don't know about you, but I talk with him all day long. We're in the car. I don't wait for church to pray. I pray every day, all day long, 24/7. I prayed in the waiting area today at Texas Children's with my son. I mean, I pray every day. But what's so unreal is that now that my life is so clear, now I feel like I'm ready at my age to actually have a relationship that's going to be worth something. I mean, I'm not saying my past relationships weren't worth something. I'm saying the good and the bad and the ugly all evolved to this day to make me who I am, which is what you're saying. Like, all the yucky in life, it's okay, because it wouldn't have made me Toni Rodriguez. And this Toni Rodriguez is what I was supposed to be. Yeah. And I'm here, and every single day I still get negativity. I mean, I just recently had someone tell me, who was a mentor, past tense, but would say, you should be doing this, and stop doing all that social media. I mean, what does that social media do for you? And I'm just negative. And the whole time he's talking, instead of me going, it would have hurt me so bad a year ago, I was just looking at him thinking, okay, all right. I got in my car, I was smiling, and I was like, peace. And I put on my favorite song. I drove off, and I'm like, it's good. You can think what you want about my life and what you think I should be doing, but I know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like you said, it's a calling. I can hear it. You should see and we can share this later on, because I think we're going to end up being great friends, but you should see some of the private messages that I get from women who tell me how inspired they are by my messages of positivity and how I inspire them as single moms who are struggling, or how I inspire them with weight issues because they've never been able to get, you know, the last 40 pounds off after their last baby. Or I had this one woman who said she's in a horrible relationship, an abusive relationship. And what should she do? I'm not a therapist by any means, but I know she's worth something. I know she's worth $1 million or more. And I told her that. I said, you've got to start believing that you're worth something. And once you believe that, once you know that, the decision is so much easier to make than when you feel you deserve the treatment that you're receiving right now. Everyone deserves that amazing partner. Everyone deserves that amazing treatment. I don't believe that God put us on this planet so that we could endure pain for the rest of our lives. I think he gave us a way to figure things out at his time, not our time. And like you said, once you surrender it, it's just like, I'm enjoying my life. I can honestly say that I love my life. I really love my life.
None of anything that you're talking about, none of it's possible without truth. Truth is, when they say truth will set you free, it's not what you think. The freedom that comes from truth is that not only do you feel free, but it also allows, it frees up the world, it frees up God to say, here's your tribe. Those people that think they have a tribe, those people that think they have friends.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not living in truth, that ain't your tribe. Sorry.
Your 11 million likes or your 11 million followers, they are not your tribe.
Anything. And here's another thing, too, about abusive relationships. And I've been on both sides of this. So I'm speaking as somebody that knows both sides.
Okay.
I mean, and there's no justification for any of it. Either way. And you can blame alcohol, cocaine, whatever you want to do. There's no right. There's no right. But that woman that's being abused, that man that's being abused and staying in a relationship, in harboring the secrets of that person, I want to make one thing very, 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 very freaking clear. You think that you're protecting them. You think you're helping them by keeping that secret. You're killing them. You think it's love by keeping that secret? No, it's selfish. Because first of all, harboring that secret is destroying you. Nothing good grows in the dark. As someone that's lived in the shadows most of their life, I'm telling you right now, there's nothing good that grows there. Nothing. But you're not doing yourself any favors, and you sure as heck, that person that you love, that you think you're protecting, you're not doing them any favors either, because there's nothing like a come to Jesus meeting, facing that reality of being an abuser, being abused, being an addict, being hurt, whatever it may be. Keeping that a secret is killing you. And it's keeping you from living the abundant, joyful life that God created you to live.
Yes.
Speak up, use your words.
And learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. That has been the biggest thing for me. Is there's none of us are perfect. There's no one. I can't even stand some people who walk around as though they're like holier than thou, and it's so unreal. It's not reality. God did not make us perfect. He didn't make us perfect. I mean, you want to strive to be like Jesus-like and Christ-like, and we all do it every day to be good. But I mean, we're imperfect, and we have to be able to forgive ourselves enough, love ourselves, and that's my platform, is to learn to love who you are. When you learn to love who you are, especially to my ladies, my demographics, Joshua, are women between the ages of 25 and 65, and I tell my friends, my very close friends, and I consider my Bubble Talk viewers my close friends, I tell them, you guys, listen, you have to love yourself. And once you love yourself, there's nothing more beautiful, more sexy, more confident to a man or another woman, depending on what your thing is, than someone who is really comfortable with who they are, who knows who they are, and loves themselves. This is our business card. All this glitz and glamour and our outside, Our body's our business card. I mean, how many business meetings have you been to where someone hands you a crumpled up, dirty, filthy business card? Never.
No.
Yeah. I mean, this is us. This is this is how people receive us. So if you take care of your body, if you take care of yourself, people are more open to receive you and really get to know the inside of you. The inside of you is the most beautiful part because beauty radiates from the inside out. So if you feel good inside, people are going to notice it on the outside and then take the time to get to know you. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how life is. Hey, I want to say hi to a few people. Gary Huffman says, hi, Toni. Great show. Hi, Gary. Thanks for coming on today. Samantha's in LA where you're at, Joshua, or California. Samantha, she says, I'm definitely a huge believer of fate, destiny, and what I'm meant to do with my life. And God is a huge part of that. Awesome. Brandon Allen from Louisiana says, being laser focused, being balanced, and healthy living is incredible each day. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And later on, if you guys have any questions or comments for us, please do not hesitate to ask us. Or if you know anybody who could possibly be inspired right now by watching and listening to Joshua speak and his message, please do me a favor and reach out to them and tell them, hey, you need to get on Bubble Talk because there's something on there that I think you guys should check out. Okay, so let's tell people what you're doing now, Joshua. Where are you at now?
Well,
so you said you're a part owner in a company. Would you like to tell the audience about that?
Well,
or not really
coming out. We're not ready to talk about it yet. But we have a product that is going to absolutely rock women's worlds.
Nice.
Very, very excited. We are in talks right now of getting bought out, which is a huge blessing because before we launch, that's been that's a gift, a blessing to be a part of.
Yeah.
But ultimately, for me, it's really taking gratitude unfiltered. And, you know, which
again, let's talk about that.
That has been my ministry. My goal and the vision that I set out when I created my company, Live Mana Worldwide. You know, I work a lot with the branding and creating products, you know, production as far as movies and events. And I've been very fortunate since I've been here in California to really get involved in a lot of different industries and see how things connect. I love branding. I love, because my spiritual gift is vision, I get to see people at their highest self, but it also goes with products too. So seeing what's possible, seeing how it connects and the strategic plan on how to get there has, in a service-minded attitude, has really worked well for me here in California because I've worked in so many different industries successfully. And now it's really helping me take this gratitude unfiltered platform, turn it into a ministry, but utilizing media to fuel it because media is the most powerful medium in the world. And it's crazy that it started on my phone that now is going on television. But ultimately, the goal is to travel the world, work in the communities I travel for about 2 weeks, working with different organizations like mental health, the HIV population, sexual and physical abuse, domestic, of course, violence. I want to work in those communities and serve, and then share the stories of those people that I worked with in front of a live studio audience. And the goal is to take this and travel like a traveling ministry, utilizing media, utilizing all of it. And it's crazy how fast it's coming together. God has been so good because again, it's aligned with his purpose for me and what he created me to do. I live very, very open, authentic, even when I'm under spiritual attack. I like talking about this. I was getting attacked because I was withstanding the enemy. I was getting these taunts. Like, I'm going to get you one way or another, mother effer. You might as well give up. You might as well kill yourself. And he's placing these images of suicide. Like me is crystal clear as 4 or 5K technology, images of me committing suicide. These are getting planted in my brain.
Wow.
Under spiritual attack nonstop for like 3-week period. And instead of hiding from it, I went on the air and talked about it as it was happening. Reason why? Because I made a commitment when I started Gratitude Unfiltered to put a spotlight on my shadow, because my shadow doesn't like the light very much. So even like another time, I knew that I was going to be alone for a long period of time. And where I live in Beverly Hills, I live up in the hills, and I was going to be isolated for a long period of time by myself. Well, you were talking about loving yourself before. Mm-hmm. Well, I've never loved myself. I didn't know how, but what I learned through that experience was, once I learned how that I could trust myself, loving myself was so much easier. So instead of taking this time in isolation where I could disappear for 4 days and no one will freaking know.
Yeah.
Instead of using that to feed my monster, I use that energy to create and write and create content and read and study and make good decisions. And I started to learn how to trust myself, therefore fell in love with myself, where now as a single man, I am whole and have something to offer a woman. You know, making the decisions to remove sex from my life, making the decisions to remove alcohol from my life, making those decisions were about loving myself and honoring the gift that I've been so blessed to have and getting to use it. That has been one of the greatest victories of my life. And it's fueled and allowed me to get these messages of like, oh yeah, okay, this is not a whisper that I get to start a ministry. This is a command. And that's what I get to do. And so that's what I'm working on. Like, that is all day long. I mean, I help people. Like, I teach people how to create podcasts for free. I
help people do Facebook Lives for free.
Yeah, I really believe that you are to give your gift away. And the
Absolutely.
reason why is this. I made my dream come true because I had a freaking show on Fox Business fall through. I had all of the TV shows fall through, all this stuff. I just got into being homeless. And I thought, oh my God, I can't, like, how am I going to make it? Like, I thought I was ready for the stage. And then it came crashing down. What am I going to do? Oh my gosh. Well, someone gave me a ticket to go see T.D. Jakes talk in the Rock Church in San Diego. And he said 2 things I'll never forget. The blessing is in the breaking. Think about that. Everything that hurt you gets to be a blessing. And number 2, focus on the things that you do have and not what you don't. He was using the analogy of an airplane trying to land with 1 wing. That pilot could go, oh my gosh, I only have 1 ring. I'm going to die. Ah! Or he's like, I got 1 wing and I'm going to land this puppy. So I thought, you know what? I don't have any money. I don't have a producer. I don't have this. I don't have that. But I have a phone with a camera on it. And I have Wi-Fi. I'm going to set out with the intention of doing this show every day. I'm going to treat it just like it's the 6 o'clock news, except that it was Morning Gratitude at the time. Kid you not, and a month later got picked up by iHeartRadio, then TuneIn and Stitcher, and it just grew and grew and grew. And now a year and 4 months later, my childhood dream of being a talk show host on television and radio is coming true. I only say this for this. If someone didn't give me that opportunity to go hear him speak, if someone didn't give me the opportunity the day that I was going to kill myself when I was homeless, to go work the Emmys, if someone didn't give me those opportunities, I wouldn't be here. Those opportunities were free. Yes, I accepted that opportunity. Yes, I showed up in excellence. Yes, I showed up and worked my butt off. Yes, I paid my dues. Yes, I took advantage of the opportunity, but it was a free opportunity. So now I've created the space where I'm going to teach anybody and everybody that asks how to do exactly what I did for free, because it's not about the podcast. It's not about the TV show. It's about none of that. Because somewhere in the middle of taking that leap of faith or stretching your faith, you'll discover that other worlds open up for you. Maybe it's ministry. Maybe it's writing a book. Maybe it's going on stage and speaking. Maybe it's emceeing. Whatever it may be, you would be shocked what that step of faith would take for you. Because every single one of you out there, your message is just as important as mine. It's just as important. And I want to create that space and teach people. So that is part of my ministry. I know that sounds weird, but you'd be surprised how many people have come to know Christ through teaching them how to create a podcast.
Wow. Wow. Another drop the mic moment. I don't even know what to say. I'm really enthralled with you, and where you're so many places at what time. I can see, I'm very empathic. Like I can see your mind going, and I'm like, I'm trying to follow you, Joshua, but my mind is going too. And wow, what an incredible life, and what an incredible story, and what an incredible message. I love that we didn't pre-show chat too much. I love that you're like me, and we're just like, we're going to organically have this conversation. That's what we like. But what I love even more so is when someone takes the time to shed some light on my life through your story and through your words today, as you're speaking to my audience, but you're also speaking to me. I was reflecting back on moments in my life where I don't know why I gave things away. I just did it because I felt like it was what I was supposed to be doing. And I do it every day. I mean, I just recently met with a man here in the Woodlands, and I gave him everything, every ounce of my knowledge. And he said, wow, Toni, I was not expecting all of this. I thought we were just going to meet and talk about, you know, mortgages and real estate. And instead I was like, no, you have a gift. I can see it. And I want to help people in that way. I want women and men, of course, to talk and speak and have a platform where they can give their message, no matter what their message is. I just think it's so important, especially when you're trying to grow a business. Gone are the days of doing, you know, for instance, Super Bowl commercials. I mean, those were insanely expensive. But if you get on YouTube, there's some YouTube videos that have more views than the Super Bowl game this past Sunday. I mean,
that was a bad
it was insane.
Super Bowl.
I mean, it was, yeah, not so exciting. But anyway, you know, I know, sorry. I know it was your Rams. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the commercials were amazing. I got to be in one of them, and it was.
Oh, because you're all over the place. You said you're going to be.
I was, yeah,
acting.
I got to be in the NFL commercial, the one with all the players in it. That was the most amazing experience ever. I was a body double. I was a body double for somebody I'm still not allowed to say, but it was an amazing experience.
Wow.
But you know, the thing is that this gets a little conspiracy weird, but here's the logic in what I believe. The robots are taking people's jobs. And the only way to really stand out in this world and to separate yourself where no one can take your job from you. And I'm somebody that's had their job taken from them. I've been fired. I get a consulting gig, and I'll tell them what's available for them. And they're like, you're insane. You're fired. They fire me, then take my idea and go on to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
The joy of a visionary, right? But anyway,
right.
Like, I got no problem with it. I don't care. Like, I just give it away now because that's God's way of saying, give it away. It's fine. And I give it away. But what I try to do when I work with people is make you the center of the universe. In other words, just like in entertainment or a movie, think about all the industries a movie supports. Food, there's all the camera people, the actors, the clothing, all of it, all of these industries, skincare, cosmetics, product placement, you name it, so many different industries. If that is the center of the universe, but why not you be the center of the universe and make you the brand, make you the modern day celebrity, and start attaching all those things. If you're a woman out there right now, if you are a female, there is a huge demand for you to be a speaker. And a lot of people don't know how. So you're going to go take some knuckleheads course. And anyway, I'm going down a wormhole. I don't want to go down.
Spend a fortune. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I get
there's ways around it. There's a book I read called The Third Door. I highly recommend it to everybody. What I try to teach people to do is how to become those modern day celebrities by taking the third door. Not doing it the way everyone else is telling you to do it. I show you the cheat code. Because look, here's the thing. I didn't have the money to pay to learn how to do any of this stuff. I was just willing to fail. I was willing to try. I was willing to screw up. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are hungry, that are desperate, to make something happen in their life, and they feel like they have a message. They feel like they have a big freaking purpose, but they don't know how. They think, oh, I'm in the like in the middle of Idaho, right? And I'm not in LA. I can't have a TV show. Bull crap. There's a way. There's a way for everybody. It's possible for everybody. And that's what I try to teach people to do. And I do it for free because you have something that needs to be heard. I've heard enough, like on my show, I had somebody go, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not coming on your show. What does that matter? Everyone goes through stuff. Everyone has a story. Then you've no idea how important your message is, because my crazy story is not going to resonate with some people. It's going to scare some people.
Sure.
But the fact is that you have something that could change someone's life. That secret that you're keeping, that locked inside, that secret could save someone's life by you speaking up now. And so there's so many different ways. There's so many different ways for you to break through. And I just want other people to know that it's possible. And I love teaching people to do it. Does it take work? Oh God, it takes work.
A lot of work.
It's work you get to do.
And it's fun work, and you love it because it's about you and your message. And that's the beauty of it.
Sure. That's the other thing. Everything that happened to you happened for you, and it's not even about you. You being molested, you being abused was never about you. Sorry, I hate to tell you. It wasn't about you. And when you use that for other people, again, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Focus out, not in.
The bigger picture.
Yes.
You have to radiate that way. And I feel an enormous amount of responsibility now, not to bubble talk or my audience by any means, but to my path, to my vision, to where it's so clear. I have to keep going in that direction. I can't go this way or that way. I have to stay super focused. And for me, January 1st of 2019 started another elevation of my life. Like, I already thought, wow, my life has changed immensely. This is amazing. It can't get any better. And it just went to a different level. And I feel it climbing every month. And again, I'm not saying it's perfect. I just say so many opportunities, amazing opportunities. They're just coming, and I'm having to make sure that they're focused and right in line with my path, in line with what I'm doing. I'm appreciative to all the opportunities. And what's so strange, that what you said, Josh, was 2018 was filled with a lot of turmoil for me, on top of discovering social media and having to learn. I didn't even know how to use a MacBook. I didn't have a social media platform a year ago. Yeah. I had Facebook that an ex-boyfriend 6 or 7 years ago started for me, so he could talk to his family across the country and send pictures of me that I didn't even know were on Facebook. I didn't even know my password to Facebook. So when I meet someone who knows a lot about social media, he's like, oh, wait, you do have a Facebook account? I go, I do? I completely forgotten about it. Like, I didn't know Snapchat from Twitter. I mean, I didn't know Instagram from LinkedIn. I kept hearing LinkedIn, and I kept thinking it sounded like a game, like Monopoly or something. He was like, yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'm learning so much in 10 months, but I also went through a tumultuous time personally, because with vast change that comes quickly, you really have to be grounded. You really have to find yourself. You really have to find your place in your space, so to speak. And these individuals that came in my life, like you said, I received some amazing gifts that I'll always be so grateful for. Sure. But I also received some very tough life lessons, really tough life lessons. And so I'm still learning. We all learn. We're a constant, process. I don't think we ever stop evolving. I don't think you're the best Joshua you can be yet. I don't think I'm the best Toni I can be yet. I think I'm just the tip of the iceberg. Honestly, I think that the sky's the limit, and I'm excited about what 2019 and 2020 and the rest of my life has to offer. And that optimism comes from my faith and the clarity of my vision. It's super clear. Super clear.
Perfect.
Okay, so Joshua, how can people listen to you? How can they find you? What can you give us some different links that we can put in the description of the show from today's episode 39? Or would you just?
I'm Joshua P. Berglund on. I mean, you can Facebook it, you can Instagram it, you can Twitter it. I'm not. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram or Twitter, but I mean, I'm there. And then Facebook, just look me up. I mean, I'm there. And then Gratitude Unfiltered is a platform where you can Google it because it's on about 17 different platforms now.
Wow.
It's such a blessing. I had a strategy in the very beginning that is starting to really pay off, and just a tremendous blessing. I love, I'm just here to serve, and I don't really have a job, so that's what I do to serve.
Well, I do want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so takes.
You're amazing. So
thank you. I think that you have an incredible light that shines. I think that you are definitely truly following your calling. It's very clear to me. I think that a lot of my viewers out there, my Bubble Talk viewers, if you didn't catch this episode today, please comment and let us know, A, where you're watching us from, and 2, share your story. Use the comment section to let us know if we influenced you in one way or the other, and how we can make things better for you for future Bubble Talk episodes. And I would really encourage you to start following Joshua and Gratitude Unfiltered. I think he has an incredible message. And if you're like me, I'm always scouring the universe for positivity and inspiration and motivation to live a more positive life, a more spiritual life, a more grateful life. And also I'd like to share out there, oh, there's my mom. She's finally on. Hi, Mom. How are you? She was probably busy. Mom. You have to go back and watch this episode, Mom. I think you're going to be really blown away. But anyway.
Mom watches my show.
Yeah, I mean, she's my #1 fan. She's incredible. And she'll tell me everything. She'll be like, I like your hair today. Or, yeah, not so much the tank top, sweetie. Or yeah, I like those earrings. She's very, very transparent with me too.
My mom told me about my potty mouth.
You're a bad mouth.
Well, because I get passionate sometimes, and sometimes things will fly out of my mouth, and so I started a swear jar challenge. So now when I curse, I have to pay $5 to a charity.
Yikes!
I gave $100.
Well, I want to give you a personal invite. I know you're super busy, but I can't give you the date right now because it'll be finalized on Thursday, but I'll private message you to come to our hashtag The Red Production benefit. It's a fashion show here in Houston. I'm on the planning committee, and I would love for you to be my VIP guest. And it's to benefit AIDS Foundation Houston.
Cool.
I would love for you to attend with me if you could. And just thank you, Joshua. I'm humbled by the experience. I'm humbled. I know I'm going to be on your show very soon. So I'm excited to be on Gratitude Unfiltered. I'm excited that we made this connection, and I hope that we can do some collaborations in the future, because I think we have very similar views and goals for our shows. My show was recently picked up by New Do TV, so it's going to be produced too as a television series. So I'm really excited about that. It's a lot of work. When people don't realize how much work, especially when you're a one-man show. I'm a one-man show. You're a one-man show. It's insanity. And, you have other obligations and work too, and I do too. So it's like a constant juggling act that we're trying to perfect. And I wish you the best. I wish you, please keep in touch with me.
You're not going to be a stranger, I promise. I promise.
Okay, awesome. I want to thank all my viewers out there for spending the last hour of your life with us. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate your participation, all your comments. Please share this informative, very inspiring episode of Bubble Talk, episode 39. Joshua, thank you so much again. I want to thank Northside Imports, Northside Maserati, Bella Soleil Tanning, Beautiful Anti-Aging, and all my friends and family out there who continually support Bubble Talk. I appreciate it. Please continue to love yourself and inspire others. to elevate them to a next level. Love you guys. Have a great Tuesday evening. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Joshua.
Bye.